Sorry, I needed water.
Now that Jason's got his water, we're live. What's up, guys? Welcome to the podcast where we talk about magic and we bring on guests. Let's roll that intro, baby.
They're guys. They do magic. They are the Magic Guys.
Yo, what's up, guys? The magician, Doug Conn, the magician, and Josh Nobito, the illusionist.
Hey, this double intro gets me confused when we go live and then there's an intro and then we're live again. I'm just for
well, now you've broken the fourth wall and now there's an intro. You know what? Let's bring on our guest. She's a street performer. She's a hard-working street performer and very talented. I don't know if you guys have seen like any of her videos on YouTube or whatever, but she has some nice work. I'm talking, there's a nice switch that she does for the Bill and Lime. Like, look, I'm not going to go into it too much. We'll let her tell you all about it. But ladies and gentlemen, Alyx, the magician.
Hi, how's it going?
Did you do the sound effect, Josh? Did you do it? Isn't there a sound effect?
I did it.
Okay, didn't
I did it, yes.
Yep.
There's a smash effect just to really sell it.
Hey, Alyx.
Hey, Doug, how's it going?
C'est bon, en français.
Ah.
I don't know American, sorry.
Look like you really threw her up. C'est bon.
Fantastic. Well, welcome to the podcast.
So the crazy thing is that Alyx is, even at the time that we're doing this podcast, Alyx is traveling so that she can do more shows. So tell us about it, Alyx. How's it going so far? How are the streets?
Well, they're really great. Yeah, I'm up in this great little New England city, and there's tons of people out, and I think everybody's starting to let their guard down. And I think people are just really, really excited for the entertainment, and especially up here in New England, I think that in the northern states of the United States, people have been a little more timid than other parts of our country, and but now everybody's like ready for a good time. So yeah, business has been really, really good.
Yeah, if I may, I had a preview of this in New Orleans. We started busking really back as far as January, February, and it's been a slow progression, but even as like March and April were some of the best times I've ever seen as a busker. So I knew coming out of this pandemic that all the kindred spirits getting back to work, putting their hats out, are going to have just a great season. And hopefully this just snowballs into the future. As this country definitely needs a little more love for the street performer, right? Like we get some love in some regions, but it's not as widely embraced as it is in some parts of the world. But love hearing that good work is happening. So good to hear that, Alyx.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And there's a lot of people out. There was a strongman act yesterday, and they were fantastic.
Strongman. I've never seen a strongman on the street.
Do they have the big circle weights? There's
they were called the Red Trouser Guys, and I hear they're from Faneuil Hall in Boston. They're supposed to be amazing. So
they probably are.
Check them out.
If they're from there, I'm sure they are good. That sounds cool. Strong guys on the street. I like it.
Yeah.
How long have you been a street performer for, Alyx?
Well, on and off for 11 years.
Wait, so you're what? You started when you were 9? How old are you?
I was like 6. I'm 34. So.
You're 34? All right. Okay.
Yeah, I'm 34.
Okay, I'll believe that, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I was an engineer, and I worked as an engineer for a little while, and then I was going to go back to school, and this amazing street magician named Cosmo convinced me that I got to give street magic a chance.
There's a guy you want to listen to. Some guy from the street named Cosmo. Yeah, let me follow your ways, sir.
Yeah. Well, it's a cool story. But yeah, so 11 years ago is when I started. And
wait, okay, we can't just say it's a cool story and pass. Let's pause and hear the story, right?
Okay.
What is the origin story of? I'd like to hear the Cosmo, and because me and Cosmo are buddies, I dig his jam. It's a good place to start. Let's hear it. What happened?
All right, great. So there was this manipulator, right? A card manipulator, billiard ball manipulator, and I paid him for lessons. And this was like 13 years ago. And he used to be a co-owner of Alyx Magic in New York City. His name is John Blake. And during his time, he's a pretty well-known magician among magicians. Doug, have you met John?
I've met about a dozen guys just like him. So I don't know John, but I picture whom you speak of. But,
well, he was my teacher. He was my mentor. We became really good friends. And when he was older, he didn't drive. So I was kind of a chauffeur, and I would drive him down to Denny Haney's for all kinds of lectures at Denny and Lee's.
There is some good travels. That's a good part of your origin to have. And love that.
Yeah. He introduced me to great people. I had dinner with the legend Howie Schwartzman, and nice. It was really cool. And anyway, we went to this convention. I drove him up there, called Hank Lee's Conclave, and Hank Lee was a magic dealer in Boston, and he went to prison for stealing lots of money from his customers.
Sure did.
But before that, he had a great convention. And
that was a big deal. The Hank Lee Conclave, the Cape Cod Conclave, that was a big deal, right?
Yeah. Oh, I went to it for years when I was a little kid. I was like 7 years old.
I used to buy from Hank Lee. I got his flyers every month, and I used to be a customer before, the sham.
Yeah, he had a fat catalog when I was a kid. I poured over that thing.
Yeah, that's what you had to rely on in those days, was the Hank Lee pictures. That's what you didn't have, even photographs. You had cartoon drawings of what the trick's supposed to
description of the trick.
You remember that, Josh? You remember using the old catalog to buy magic?
No, I think I missed that. I missed that fun part of magic.
Yeah. In Australia, we never had a magic shop, so we had to learn in other ways from that filthy hobo down the street. We had to learn from him.
Oh my God.
Anyway, keep going. I like the story. This is a good story.
So you're at a Hank Lee thing in Cosmos there? Is that what happened?
That's right. So I was hanging out at John Blake's booth at the time. He wasn't with Tannins. He had East Coast Magic, and he made really fine magic products.
Wait a minute. Is this the guy you drove up there?
Yeah.
Okay. So now I understand that what I need is a young person that's going to drive me around. I get it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm learning that. And I can bring stuff. I can bring
how to do card manipulation, and then they'll drive you anywhere.
And not only that, but you'll bring my wares. So it'll be me and luggage, which is great.
Yep. I carried luggage. Yeah. Well, right next to us was this guy in a Hawaiian shirt, and he was launching this new thing called a DVD magazine.
Yep.
And it was Real Magic Magazine. He just started.
Yep.
He only had like 3 issues. One of them was like Jason Alexander. And anyway, I spent all weekend talking to this guy in a Hawaiian shirt who was Cosmo of Real Magic Magazine. And I wanted to be a stage manipulator like John. But Cosmo was like, that's never going to happen.
Wow. What luck that you would have a professional tell you that. Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah. And he told me about the street, and I'm like, I didn't know what he meant. Like, I didn't understand what a street magician was.
Yeah, it's not widely accepted in this country, especially by professional magicians. Like, I get the overall sense that if you had to ask 1,000 magicians, that 900 of them might think street magic is just too weird or beneath them, and that's just kind of, and maybe that's
because they're weak, Doug.
Well, I think it's an American state of mind more than worldwide, and I wouldn't say it's worldwide. And as I speak to my American magicians, I hope you're in the 10%, or my math is wrong, but this is just kind of the feeling I get from a lifetime of being a street performer. Let me tell you, Magi, it's the great venue. It's not beneath us. It's the great venue.
It's the best venue.
It is really. Yes.
Yeah. It's so in Australia, a lot of magicians hated street performing magicians as well. And for a long time, I was like the lower than everyone else because I was a street performer. But after a while, it started to shift, and now everyone's doing it. Like everyone in Australia is like, oh, I got a street perform now.
And I feel like maybe there's more of it now than before in the States, but it's not blossoming. It's not like it could be. We have so many great places that could embrace it and that don't. And
we only had two street performers here at one stage that did magic, and that was that was Nick Nicholas, if you know who that is.
Sure.
And then the other one was James Hessler.
Yep. James. Yep.
Yeah.
He's from Australia? I thought he was a Brit.
No, he's from Scotland, and but he was my mentor. So similar story to yourself. I ran into James, and he taught me the street. So crazy story, similarity.
Having a good mentor on the street is invaluable.
It is invaluable because everyone else who tried street performing almost quits, immediately.
Yeah,
because it's too hard.
Hey,
right?
I was rejected from the streets. I didn't pass my busking audition. So
I remember this story.
Yeah, it's tough.
So you were stuck with the lowly life of corporate money.
Making a couple of mil.
Sorry about that, Mr. Morbido.
Yeah. So
maybe in the next life you can enjoy things.
Yeah, corporate chose me. I didn't. But you know, in the earlier days when Jason was saying that you're saying some magicians hated buskers or whatever, like, you know, that's how I showed how open I was. I would tell people, oh, but no, but one of my friends is a busker, which is Jason.
Let's not use the word hate, because I don't want to imply that I started or inferred that hate is the word. I just think that maybe that they would think it's a lesser form. Like, and how do you the mindset that it is that? Have you done it? Have you seen it? Probably not. You just have a mindset. But guess what? If you experience a very good street entertainer, you will be moved like any other theater has moved you before. It's exactly good, if not better, than going to a show. So,
well, the rule you should live by is entertainment should be for everyone, not just the people who can afford it.
For sure.
So every time you go out and do a show, it should be the best damn show you can do.
It really should be. If not, why are you doing it?
Exactly. Yeah. And that's for everyone, whether they've got money or not. And then the upside, obviously, is that ching ching.
But hey, it's this too. Regardless of money or not, where do magicians have a venue? Where's the venue for our modern day magician?
Yeah. Well,
right.
Yeah, there's not like magic bars and stuff.
Well, now it's TikTok.
There's a few. Well, that's one that counts, right?
Instant celebrity status on TikTok.
Well, a year ago you could have got that. Good luck now. Good timing, Jason.
Yeah, no, we got in just in time, didn't we, Doug?
Got right under the radar there.
What about you, Alex? Do you upload to TikTok or anything like that?
Alex, do you do TikTok?
No, I'm kind of late. I just joined Instagram like a month ago. So now
you do YouTube, and I've seen your work, and it's great. I want to talk about that. Let's get to let's hear the rest of this Cosmo thing.
Cosmo really piqued my interest, and then I was going to go to graduate school, and I was in this town in New England, and I looked around. There's all these people, and I'm like, I could do that thing that Cosmo told me about. And so I threw together a show on a Saturday night, and then on a Monday I went and I auditioned. I got a permit, and I went out and I did 2 shows, and I made $40. And my show was like 7 minutes, and I made $40 in 14 minutes. And I was like, "This is amazing!" And so I did that all summer. I traveled around. I went to like Ocean City, Maryland, which is like a big boardwalk in the United States, and
that's a legendary spot.
Cape Cod. And it was really great. And then one night I was in this town where I started, and here comes this big guy in a Hawaiian shirt and silver hair, and he's larger than life, and it was Cosmo.
Wow.
And my jaw hit the ground, and I'm like,
no doubt. He shows up on your pitch, huh?
Yeah, exactly. And so we spent a week together, and he watched my show, and he gave me feedback, and we ate burritos, and I counted my $1 bills, and he counted his $20 bills, and I'm like, I'm going to be that someday.
That's how you learn. That's exactly how you learn, right in the trenches.
Especially that that mental note of like, I'm going to be there someday. That's like that's how I kept pushing forward too, because I did the same thing with James. We have a lot of coins though in Australia, so we'd always have these coin sacks that were freaking enormous. Well, mine wasn't. Mine was pathetic. Mine was this little change purse almost, and he would have this sack that you could like throw over your shoulder like Santa Claus and hoist it off. And I was like, damn, I got to get that. And now my sack is also big. Wait, that was wrong. My money bag is full. Damn. That's it's such a good like motivational point though, to have someone to aspire to be. And
you can do all the theory. You can read the books and watch the DVDs and study all you want, but until you get on the pitch and do it, you don't know.
The truth.
And so it's super valuable having someone that not only has done it but is good at it, right? Like, and is willing to share that time with you. So nice, cool. You're not from Connecticut, right? You're visiting. Where are you from?
Yeah, I'm down in eastern Pennsylvania. So there's a couple little pitches there. Right. And they all have like anti-busker ordinances that must be really old because like I just wave at the cops as they walk by.
Yeah, the golden rule is ask for forgiveness and not permission. So
that's the one.
Yeah, and if it can always be fought and won if you are in a wicket, but it still sucks if the authorities come for you, no matter what the situation. That sucks.
Doug's been arrested.
I went to jail with Sonny Holiday. I've told that story on these podcasts. Yeah, me and Sonny, when I was like 18, he was using my stuff, and right off Bourbon Street, they took us to the Joint, Orleans Parish Prison. So good old days.
That's terrifying.
Oh yeah, just being with Sonny Holiday was terrifying. I didn't need prison to be involved with any terrifying things. Stories probably for our Patreon, which, hey, let's get a promo in. If you're not a member of the Patreon, consider signing up and hearing great Sonny Holiday stories. There we go. That's the commercial.
Subscribe if you haven't already.
There it is.
And smash like, because why not?
Do it
everything. Got all the graphics.
But I think
we wanted to show. Oh crap,
Jason. I was going to say, I think one of our patrons lives nearby.
There's a question in the window for the listeners at home. Someone read it. Now it's gone. It vanished.
So Alex, I don't know if you know, but there's a little comment section on the side of the thing that if you click, there's private chat and then there's comments, and you'll be able to see all the comments from people watching this.
Oh wow!
Wow!
I didn't know that either.
Yeah,
that's great.
So now that you know, you can answer some questions if you'd like, but for now, let's take a look at this.
This question is needed.
What happened to Jason's face? I know. You know what it was? I just needed to shave, and I couldn't find a razor, like a shaver bigger thingy. So I had to use a little shaver, and it took it all off. I was like, damn. Then here we are.
Dude, I think you're handsomer, if that's a word.
But I look too damn young though. Like, no one's going to respect this on the streets. I'll be out there. I'll be like, "Can you watch my show?" No one's going to watch it.
You just wow, that's incorrect.
No, I know. I'm just being silly, dude.
So
with the throw, forgiveness always beats permission.
Alex, I'm curious about your YouTube channel. If you want to talk about that some.
Here it is. We can pull it up. There's me in the tiny little corner. Alyx Magic, 653 subscribers, and only started 5 months ago. So that's some progress, dude.
That's my question. Why you want to do that?
Well, I think I take care of my 3 little kids, and so I've been homeschooling them for 4 years, and so
I know that routine.
I'm going crazy.
I played Mr. Mom for large stints of my life, so I can.
Really?
I raised 3 girls in New Orleans as a magician, so you can understand.
Yeah, you get it.
I didn't homeschool, but I was quite a busy papa. So I get it.
So I just needed an outlet, which I'm sure you totally can identify
especially with. Like during the pandemic, I found renewed vigor for the platform during the pandemic. And so, you're sitting at home alone. It's do nothing or do something. It's kind of what I felt like. And I decided to do something. You obviously did as well. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think I was, I think I'm allowed to say this, but I was also trying to get monetized in the event that I was on this show, because I sent in an audition tape to Penn and Teller. The producers, they called me, and I was like, and then they said, "You're not going to be on the show, but you could be." And they asked for a different act. So I had like 14 days to create a brand new act because they didn't like my Bill and Lemon, because Laura London did a Bill to Lemon 8 or 10 years ago.
At least you got that. I didn't even get a call back. I auditioned. What'd I get? Radio silence.
Oh,
I know, right? I'll try again.
Josh, you auditioning?
Yeah, why not, man? Let's do it.
yeah.
I'll tell you why not.
I'm gonna do
I'll tell you why
Switchblades.
not after the podcast. I've got the inside scoop on why not.
Yeah. Okay.
I just don't. I don't.
Back to Alyx.
I just don't want the competition. That's all. All right.
Yeah, so I created a second act and in 14 days, and I worked with Mike Close, and he said, "You're going to get on the show. This is amazing. You're going to love it." And then they sent me an email and said, "Clear your calendar. You're under final consideration." And I popped the champagne. And then the weeks went by, and they never wrote to me. And then wrote to me. And then my friend got on, and she signed the contract, and I didn't have a contract.
Oh no!
And so anyway, I didn't get on, but I made it to final consideration, and that's part of the reason I had the YouTube channel, is just to get hopefully monetized ahead of time.
That's totally smart, right? Yep. Wow. Well, so what are your feelings now about the show? You like? You ready to try again, or are you feeling like that was heartbreakingly bad?
Yeah, it was hard because I felt like I was right there.
Yeah,
and I was really excited, and then I wasn't. So yeah, I took that pretty hard, but I turned part of my both acts are now part of my street show, and now I have a street show that's really original, and I'm not doing the cups and balls, which I had always done, so I don't need a table anymore. And so it all worked out. I got an original street act. So yeah.
Nice.
Wow, that is a true blessing. Yeah.
Cool.
Not using a table is a powerful thing.
Yeah. For the sidewalk, it's amazing. I can just stop anywhere. Like I used to have to level my table so the balls don't go around, and so it's really nice.
You're using these same effects that you auditioned with for the show, and that they considered.
Yeah, I just changed them around a little bit, and
so I would totally recommend sending them. Work this act for the next 6 months or whatever you're going to do, and then send them this performance footage of a well-honed act instead of something you created in 14 days, and maybe they'll reconsider their feelings. That's my advice.
That's really good advice, Doug.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
What were you going to say before, Doug, about the Fuller show? You had some thoughts on it now.
Me?
Yeah, you said I'll tell you.
Oh no!
The inside scoop on why you shouldn't do it.
Yeah, but not really. I was just making up words. No.
I mean,
they'll break your dreams by not accepting you.
No.
So yeah, I made an approach. I took a long shot with the way I auditioned. I don't want to talk about it. It obviously didn't work, and I'll try again next year. Hopefully, they'll have me before the show ends. I mean, what is this season, 23? I'm worried that these guys might not be around long. So I'll try. I'll see you next year on Fool Us, Alyx. Me and you. All right,
we
baby.
We'll be there.
We'll be in Vegas next year.
Yeah, we can go out for celebratory drinks. How about all four of us? We'll meet up.
Come on, boys. Vegas party.
Yeah, we'll be carrying Doug's luggage all the way there. We'll be there for sure.
I'm sure they'd love to see a guy do the balloon swallow on stage. That would be solid.
Eventually, it'll.
That it's all about the story. It's all about the story. I thought I had a good story for him. I didn't. So if you have a good story, you can get on the show. Or your trick must be very good, and probably not a card trick. That's for sure. If you're doing
unless it's a really good card trick,
that needs work.
Well, I can tell you that I think they want to get a pretty good street theme and a street story. That was really my only hook, and they were really interested in that aspect of it.
It's a good hook. Wow. I'm not that guy, though. I mean, there's a lot of guys who could take that approach. Me doing street for Fool Us, I'm not that guy. I am a street performer. I'm not a great one. I'm a pretty good magician, though. I think I can trick him. That's what I'm relying on, my trickiness.
Nice.
I think I have this grandpa magic thing going for me, which is really not who I am, but I thought I had it going for me, and I don't know if I should use that or not, but I was kind of thinking that might be the end. Grandpa magic makes good on the internet. That's a story, right?
Yeah. Right.
I like that story for me better than good street performer story. That's kind of what I'm saying.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. You're too cool to be a street performer. I get it.
Well,
Looking down on us.
I'm cool, Grandpa Magic. No, man, I would love to be. I think it's much cooler to be a cool street performer than be Grandpa Magic. Come on,
Grandpa Magic.
True.
Yeah, it is for real.
Can I ask Alyx? I think we glossed over pretty quickly. Alyx, you said you have 3 kids.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot.
How bringing up 3 kids? How does that fit in with busking or traveling or?
Would you share their ages if you wouldn't mind, so I can have a reference? If nobody else gets it, at least I'll have that.
Yeah, my kids are 4, 6, and 8.
Ooh, baby, that's a handful.
Yeah,
that's a handful.
But they play together really well, and they're very independent. So I actually get a lot of time to myself to work on creative, pursuits with my magic and creating new stuff. And then we're moving really soon. My spouse and I are actually building a tiny house on wheels.
Ooh, I love it.
Yeah, so we've been building it for a year. We designed it, and we're moving to a farm, and I can take a ferry to like one of the greatest pitches in New England, and it's like 30 minutes. And so it's really tiny. There's 5 of us, and it's cold winters. But in the summer, I'm just gonna go busk every single night. As soon as my spouse can watch the kids, and every weekend. So.
I love that.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that.
My
dream result within the next 2 years, I'm being greedy. I want 2 tiny houses. So I'm going to plan for some cheap land, one in the north and one in the south. And then I'm going to have an RV that's towing a Tesla. And I'm going to travel between the 2 tiny houses. That's what I'm going to do. But I don't have 3 kids. Wow, that's ambitious. But I totally dig living the dream. Sounds like me about your age. I lived in Algiers Point in a small apartment with my 3 children and my baby's mama, and I would take the Algiers Point ferry over to the French Quarter. It took about 20 minutes to ride the boat across and another 10 to walk to the square. It's a great way to get your mindset on the way to work. You can practice, get the chops warmed up, and think about life, and you'll love it. It'll be.
I'm excited. That sounds amazing, and I'm glad you think I love it.
That's so good. Yeah, it's great. It's great to street performing just offers something, right? That other jobs just can't, and that's the freedom, I guess, to do what you want to do. I moved to a totally different city just so I could be closer to better pitches. Like I had this full going gigs, and I was doing all the gigs and stuff like that, and I quit them all just so I could go and do more street performing. Because why not? Why not, man? So I came here. Now I live in Sydney, in the city. So literally, my commute to work is going down the elevator, and then boom, baby, the pitch is literally across the street.
Are you that close? Really? You can walk to it?
Yeah, I can just walk to it. Yeah, I'm close to the 2 biggest pitches in Sydney.
That's so important. My most recent stint really was like 2017 when I lived in the French Quarter. It was 2 blocks off Jackson Square, and there was nothing better than poking your head out the window and being like, it's not quite ready yet.
How's the weather? How's the people?
Yeah, when I live in Algiers Point, you talk about riding the ferry in, you're committed before you leave, right? You're like, I'm just going in today. But when you live in it, you're like, Toulouse Street, that was a great place to live. Hey, Jocelyn, if you're watching, Jocelyn, fond memories of that year.
Yeah, my wife is also a street performer as well, so it all works out,
Nice. What does your wife do?
She's an artist, so she does drawings and stuff for people.
Oh,
it's really
nice.
good. She's the only artist I've seen who kills it properly, though. Like, she makes more than me. Damn bastard.
Is there a lot of street art in Sydney, Jason? Is that something you?
There's not many because it's really hard to make money as a street artist.
Okay.
What are you giving people? In terms of the experience, they can just look at it.
Like in New Orleans, they do a lot of portraits, caricatures, that kind of thing.
So she does she draws people realistically, and then she gives it to them. But she's she's got her own little enterprise going on the streets. It's kind of crazy.
She takes orders and does custom work and stuff like that outside
people hit her up on social media now that have seen her previously and ask her to do stuff. It's crazy.
This is how you end up being an internationally famous artist. So hopefully that's her path. Yeah.
You got to get her on the TikTok, bro. The before and after.
I tried. She hates it.
Does she really?
Yeah, she hates it. She doesn't like making videos.
I think she'll like it once she starts getting some monetization.
I talk to my wife about it all the time, just trying to find her thing. And I'm like, just find what you want to do, and I'll help you 100%. So, but she hates being on camera. But we talked about it the other day. She's an artist as well. She's a great letterer, and she does great, hand hymn drawings. There's a room for that, There's a room for everything on the internet, certainly TikTok.
Hey, we had a question earlier, and it'd be interesting to hear Alex's take on it, which is this one. This is someone who's looking from the outside in. They don't understand the asking for money part of street performing. So what is your approach, Alyx? You say, I have 3 kids and I want to buy a farm. How do you approach it?
Well, so what I used to do is kind of like the formula that Cosmo taught me, which was to do like the 3-part. First you kind of let them know that you're not paid to be out there, and that might be like before your last trick. And then maybe in the middle of the last trick, if there's a good point to do it, you kind of educate them with how much you expect. And then after the show, you get kind of warm and heartfelt and thank them and remind them that that you expect a tip. And that's me taking my hat off. But anyway, but I don't do that anymore. I have a new formula and working great.
You gonna share that?
No, don't share it. Don't share it. Keep that one to yourself.
All right.
I came up with a formula as well that was unique to me. And,
I'm just a little bit more direct with it, and I do a bill in lemon, and after I'm holding it, I say, "Oh, by the way, I should probably tell you I'm not paid to be out here." It's disappointed too, which is the stock line. And then I just go into just a couple of silly lines about how, this 20 would be a good tip, and everybody laughs. And I just try to make them laugh a lot, but it's really.
Do you lead into it though? Do you take that advice and
straight into it?
A couple of jokes along the way?
Can you hear her? She said straight into it. Hit some
I heard her.
I'm
questioning that. I know. I'm just making sure I heard her right.
I just have that one little block of tiny little jokes, and I only make like 2 little jokes, and I make them laugh just a little bit, and then I just go right into it. And at the end, I've just been doing some like heartfelt stuff, and
I work quite similarly, where I don't have as big a lead in as many street performers do, and I rely on. I do a card to wallet where the card is wrapped in money. So at the end, that's the subliminal advertisement that goes into the hat that triggers the audience on what to tip. And I don't say a lot more about it before that. Maybe 1 joke or 2. So we're similar in that regards. I don't know that that's the best way, actually, but it's nice to know I'm not alone.
But the only tip that I do have is my opinion, and Jason, you weigh in and Doug weigh in, but I think the education part, it has to be there, and it can be a joke, but you have to tell them what you expect, because I've seen guys who just say, throw a couple bucks in the hat, and then
all they get is a couple bucks.
A crumpled dollar bill in it, or they throw some change, and that's not good for the rest of us.
One of the biggest ways you can give yourself a raise as a street performer is to directly tell people to pay you more. I'm worth $20, but pick the right value. Like, don't say you're worth 20 if you're not. In my show, which is currently around 10 to 12 minutes, I suggest a $5 bill, and I get a lot of $5 bills, and I get quite a few 20s. And the 5s are maybe equal to the 1s, right? So that certainly equals out well-rounded, as opposed to someone would go 20, no thanks, and not give me anything, right?
My headline changes from crowd to crowd.
Okay, that makes sense too.
It's pretty consistent across the board, but it'll change depending. Like if I have those real banger shows, the ones I'm talking about. Sure, everyone's on board. They love you, man. They love you. Yep. Then I'll throw in different lines that encourage higher pay. But if it's like sometimes you have your standard shows, which are still good, but they're not, not life-changing good. And then you do your standard line. So for me, I often mention like 10s and 20s in my show, and then because of that, I rarely get coins these days. Actually, normally my hats are just all notes, which is But in Australia, that's unusual because we have a $1 and $2 coin.
Yeah,
right?
that makes sense.
That's why I was talking about that sack of cash before.
I almost feel now like the single dollar has become the quarter of what. Like I used to get upset when I would get change because it was prevalent in America 20 or 30 years ago. But now it's like if someone gives me $1, I'm like, wow, I didn't do my job good enough there. But you don't dwell on it. You don't dwell on any money people give you for long. Although there was one time, this is the tip that disturbed me more than any other in my life. This old gentleman comes up, takes a handful of change out, and counts out 73 cents.
What?
He had a lot. There was like he could have put 75 cents or even $1 of change and had plenty left over, but that was worth exactly 73 cents that day. But then I thought this. Here's how I made this okay. I'm thinking, well, he probably normally tips 32 cents. So I probably got more than double that day, probably.
Yeah, that's it.
Like they say, you can't tell a crowd how to react, man.
You can't. And you can't tell a man how valuable his money is. So
It kind of reminds me of back in the starting point when I was selling Svengali decks. This guy was trying to talk me down on two decks, and he's like talking me down. I'm like, fine. And then he pulls out 100. He's like, oh, do you have change for 100? Oh, you bastard.
Yeah.
I have a story about 100. So
Tell me.
Well, I was working just for one couple. I got to the pitch really early. And it was just one couple, and they were eating it up. And the guy was an engineer, and I was doing fork bending, and his mind was fried, and his wife was having so much fun. And then at the end, I was going to do my Bill and Lemon, and I said, I need to borrow 20. And he says, I'll do you one better. And he's going through all his $20 bills, and he pulls out 100. And I'm like, yes. I will use that. And so I do the trick, and I did it so well, and they were fried, and they were laughing, and they're like, that was so amazing. And then he took his $100 bill back, and he put in 2 of these like US $1 coins, so, those gold coins, Doug. And I was just like, I was so sad.
Wow.
That's the worst. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
What can you do?
I've had someone prank me before where they're walking up with 100 and then like underneath the 100 they drop some coins in. You're like, fuck.
That's terrible.
Wow.
Have you been doing the
Australians are pricks, man.
Bill and fruit? How long has that been part of your act?
Just this year, I developed it for 4 months.
While we're on that topic, actually,
you're going to get lots of big bills. So you'll
there's
a
video that you posted.
I got 2 $100 bills this year, or this weekend. It's the first time ever. It was awesome.
Yeah, you'll keep doing that. Congratulations.
There's a video you posted, Alex. There's a lot of talking going on. There's a video you posted of your performance of the Bill and Fruit, right? And you do this marvelous switch.
Oh,
is that yours?
Yes.
That switch is easily the best switch I've ever seen as a stand-up Bill and Fruit. I was like,
refresh my memory here. What is the switches for? Is this the trick you're doing now?
It is. So
the Bill and Fruit.
The version on that show is a little bit more elaborate. There's actually a lemon that shakes when the bill is supposed to go to their hand, because the bill is supposed to like magically go to their hand. And I say it's going to be there right about now. And then the lemon is remote control, and it goes.
What?
So
wow!
I made that.
Video
I haven't seen this. I haven't seen that.
So, do you mind if I show this, Alex? Is that okay?
Yeah. May I make a disclaimer? I had never been on film before, and it was really scripted, and I was really nervous.
Yeah.
So,
See, this is where a year later you're going to kill it on Fool Us. That's what this needs is just performance time.
This is Doug, check this out. Tell me if you missed this. Look at this. You ready?
Okay. Well, now it's foreshadowed, but I'm watching.
We don't get any audio, by the way, Jace.
Did you see that?
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, wow.
That was it. That was the move. Like, how crazy is that? I remember seeing that and thinking to myself, what the shit? That is crazy good. All right, let me switch back to my
Well,
that's came up with that.
Alex, may I suggest you publish that tomorrow because it's going to be on Penguin next week. If you don't, someone's going to publish that shit.
Oh, geez, really? Yeah, you know what? I was thinking about that today. I'm going to be performing at the MAES convention, which is the
plug.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so it's the convention that Mark DeSouza helps put on, and I was thinking about selling lecture notes for that trick, and I just didn't know if I wanted people to know about it or not.
Here's the thing: you got to wear a busker's pouch, right? Or do you have one? Yeah. So who's doing that?
Cellini pouch, if I'm not mistaken.
That is a Cellini pouch.
And it should be a Cellini pouch because it adds to the deception of the method.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that was like 40 hours of my life in a bathroom just trying to figure out how to make that work.
What do you want, kid? You want my pity for your 40 hours?
Yeah.
No, that switch is easily the best switch I've ever seen for a fruit. And like normally they do the weird shuttle pass thing, or they're in the coat, doing it. But this is like sleeves up, very open and still super fucking clean.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate that. It means a lot.
And that's your show finale, right? This is what you do now?
That's what I do on the street. I don't have the shaking remote control lemon on the street, but yeah.
What a nice moment. Do you work with a stool then? You have a bag on a stool out there? Is that your what are your props on the street at all? You just have nothing? Just a bag?
Pocket full of dreams, my friend.
So when I do my sidewalk show, I just have a magic wand.
Mm-hmm.
I have a coin, a jumbo coin, a fork, and a lemon. That's it.
I love it.
Yeah, I can do about 20 minutes with that, or I can dial it down to 7. So
yeah. Awesome. I love that style. Yeah. That'll make you a lot of money. That will make you a lot of money.
It sounds like no cards.
Yeah, so I do have cards. If I'm doing a sidewalk show and it's really small, and if nobody has the 20, I close with a card trick. Nice. And it's kind of a dumb card trick, but I just sell it like the biggest thing in the world, and people eat it up. And so it's taught me that it's this old saying, it's not what you do, it's how you do it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And it's a card trick that other people would just kind of gloss over, and you can close with anything if you believe in it.
That's 100% true.
Yeah.
I do the Reformation in my show.
Remember last time Jimmy was here, he was closing with this trick. He took a piece of rope and swung it around, and there was 4 knots in it. And I tried to talk him out of that as a closer, but he just kept doing it. He didn't. I mean, when you're picking your closing routine of a magic act, making knots on a rope appear just doesn't seem to be the ta-da moment we're looking for. But guess what? In Jimmy's world, it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jimmy's a pro, man.
Character, baby. Character.
Did you ever get the chance to work with Charlie Caper?
You're asking me?
I'm asking Alex, you, anyone really?
No, I haven't.
No.
I don't think Charlie's
I'd love to meet him.
I don't know if he's been to the States. He hasn't been to New Orleans. I go out of my way to meet the good guys here.
Yeah, his show is one of the best I've ever seen. It's pretty crazy.
For sure.
He does this completely unique thing. He does the cups and balls, but it's very, very unique. And
let's do an announcement again. Charlie Caper is probably one of the best living magicians in the world.
I agree.
If you're listening to this show, you don't know who Charlie Caper is.
Get your shit together.
Yeah, come on, man.
But
he's a busker. He works a lot. He's got a lot of work in the real world, so he's not out
Alex?
there.
Doug.
He did win a show.
I just wanted to add that Charlie Caper did a really wonderful filmed show that's on YouTube with Malin Nielsen. And Malin was on Fool Us, and she did the act with the bubbles and the water bubbles, and she's unreal. And the two of them together did this amazing show. And I don't know if we can maybe add the link to the comments afterwards. I don't have
so you can go on YouTube and watch this. I haven't seen that. It sounds wonderful.
So good. They're both amazing.
Cool. I know what I'm doing later. Let me write that down right under Jason's sock joke.
Yeah, the tea strainers.
I hope you're taking notes at home.
Yeah. Is Jimmy Griswold? Is that Jimmy Talks a Lot?
Nope.
No, different one.
You got your hopes up for a sec, didn't it?
No, he's actually an international
We were talking
superstar.
about Jimmy Talks a Lot. I don't know.
The T string.
I've already said too much bringing his name up at all, so I can't speak anymore about Jimmy Talks a Lot.
Oh, sorry.
It's all right. It's my bad, really.
If he ever watches, I wanted to throw a big shout out to Jimmy Talks a Lot if he ever sees the show.
Every street magician working today that works without a table needs to throw a big shout out to Jimmy Talks a Lot. He really ushered in the era, at least in the United States. Every busker in the country was working with a table. Jimmy comes back from Europe with no table, killing it. And slowly everyone lost their tables. So thank you, Jimmy, on behalf of all the modern buskers. I still use a table.
I still cart around a table. Yeah,
I'm an old dog. I've tried it. I've shrunk the working, but I still can't give up. I shrunk it down to this laptop DJ stand. I can't get rid of it. It's just like I need that stage.
I have I have multiple different shows. The Cups and Balls being my main one, but I even do a show with this puppy.
Do you now? You use that in your busking app?
Yeah. It's when I do my Bill and Lime show, I produce it from this.
Yeah, I think
the lime from this.
Did you say something? It doesn't matter.
I do it with either this or a chop cup.
Yeah.
And then
chop cup's a great option.
And then I cut it open with the color changings. So I do a little color change routine.
So the lime is like the final load in the ball and vase then? Is that the deal?
Yeah.
And then the bill's in there. I love that. Let me write that down with this. I've never seen anyone use the ball and vase on the street, but I think that
was the whole point of it. Yeah.
Yeah, it gets discarded. You have mentioned if you want to show people that vase what this thing has on the bottom. If you don't want to show it, I understand. You want to keep your secrets.
I mean this?
That opens up a lot of.
Where I produced the stick through it.
Yeah, that and what else? Did you say it had a handkerchief originally or something like that?
Well, the original performance of the ball and vase is that you would start off with a handkerchief loaded into this vase, and your original ball that you start off with is one of these suckers where you take
So for the listeners at home, the vase is a tube. The vase is a hollow tube. Hollow.
And you would turn the silk into a ball, and then you could switch it out or whatever, and then you do the routine, and then at the end, the finale of it is that you would take it, and with a shake, it goes back to being a silk, right? So, and that's the point of it, because obviously with the shake, it pushes the thing up.
Would you do that on the street?
Nah, that's lame.
Okay.
Well, I just try to do good tricks on the street, man.
I could see that playing well. I also see it being problematic with reset and getting messy with the lime juice.
Yeah, that's the reason why. And finding good quality ball and vase is actually
that too.
really hard, man.
Dropped out a couple of 3 times, and
I have to get them from Japan.
You need like a Gazo ball and vase, something that's like 8 pounds with a ball bearing in the middle.
Dude, I would 100% do that. That would be sick.
I bet you would.
If I could find someone that could craft that for me, I'd be all over that.
Gary Knights, where are you?
Yeah, I know. I don't think he makes them anymore, man. He's passed on everything to Samuel King, actually. I don't know who makes the cups anymore. Who makes the cups now?
Maybe Michael Kamanskis. Is that the pronunciation? So can
Frank
someone correct me?
Shut down as well, right?
Michael Kamanskis. We need a metal ball and vase, Michael. I'm just saying.
Make it happen.
All right.
Hit me up in my DMs. Slide into my DMs. So, wow, 11 years street performing and raising 3 kids. That's fucking crazy. And then also coming up with unique material in the process. That's some crazy shit, man. That's
the craziest part, and I've heard people do this before, and most of them are successful, is this. Yeah, I was in college going for my master's. I had my life all planned out, and I said, screw everything. I'm just going to go busk. And that's what Cosmo did. He was working at Cornell University as like a tech guy. And, middle of his life, he's got a great job at a university, probably has tenure. And he's like, nah, I'm going to go be a busker. And he did. And then he built Real Magic, and now he does whatever he wants. So good on him. I know he misses.
That's the part that makes me nervous. Because
getting everything you want?
Because he has Real Magic magazine, it's his retirement. And I'm thinking like, what the hell am I going to do?
Well,
Make content.
Yeah, it's nice to have that backup like Cosmo had, you know.
Yeah, make content.
You're so young.
Yeah.
You shouldn't worry about that yet. Just go do good magic, and I'll see you on Fool Us next year, and then you can do whatever you want after that. We'll both
there you go.
We'll both take trophies home and live a good life.
Yeah, cool.
I think that's a good note to finish on. I think. Alyx, is there a question we ask everyone, Jason?
If in doubt, would you kick it out or would you just leave it in play?
Yes.
The old soccer quote. Anyway, with that,
Classic.
We'll end it here.
I was about to say, I missed the memo
Alyx,
on the
thank you so much for coming on. You've been
thank you for having me.
A delight. What a great experience. Yeah, what a great experience.
Thank you so much. It was an honor to be on your show.
So damn humble.
Yeah. Guys, thanks for joining us, and for everyone who got to soak up some knowledge, you'll be able to
quick hello to
back
Justine
again.
Aldersong, who just got here.
Yes. Look, you can rewatch this back, and Alyx, thanks so much for having us, having come on our show. Guys, we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening. It's time for us to disappear now. But we'll see you again on the next episode of The Magic Guys.